to show you the best tips, tricks, hidden features, and top things you can do on the Nintendo Switch 2 that'll make you love this bad boy even more. Let's go. Okay, so first off, let's start off with some fun tricks you can do with these new Joy-Cons, especially what to do if one of them or even both go missing. So from the home screen, if you go into controllers, then into search for controllers, if you tap on one of these, it'll vibrate the controller you tap on. But here's the little secret. If you tap and hold onto the controller, it'll not only vibrate, but also make this ringing sound, which makes them way easier to find no matter where they've gone missing. But another little bonus tip is you can also use a Joy-Con to find the other Joy-Con. So again, make sure you're in here, then using the Joy-Con stick, just make sure you select the missing Joy-Con. Now you can press and hold either the A button to make the other controller ring, or you can click and hold any of these two top triggers, the plus button or the joystick. And now you'll never lose your controllers. Another awesome new trick you can do with these bad boys is add one of these grips that come with your Switch and turn it into a freaking mouse. This is just such a cool new feature for gaming or even just navigating around the menus. And what's also really cool is if you go into settings and scroll down to controllers and accessories, in here you can choose the sensitivity of the mouse to be either fast, default, or slow. As you can see, the fast option is super speedy and responsive. And what's really nice is you can use either the left or right Joy-Con as a mouse, depending on which you prefer. Back inside controller and accessories, make sure controller vibration is also turned on, because that way you got a way cooler gaming experience and you just get to feel all the action. But that's just the Joy-Cons. There's even more you can do with the buttons, along with hidden dock settings and even a new way to share games. But before I show you those, here are 3 settings you've got to switch on. Alright, so if you want to load up games faster, then you need to do this. Go back into settings and this time select users. Then in here, toggle on skip selection screen. And what this will do is now whenever you load up a game, instead of asking you to pick the user, then load up the game, it'll straight up skip that step and instantly load the game, which is just much faster. Then another smart little tip is inside settings, you'll also find this Bluetooth audio option. And this is where you can pair and connect your wireless earbuds like Galaxy Buds, AirPods, or any other earbuds. And I even tried it with the Bluetooth speaker and it worked perfectly. Believe it or not, but this wasn't available on the original Switch for around 5 years. So it's good to see that it's available on the Switch 2 now. And for a smart little battery tip, if you go back inside settings and scroll all the way down to system, and once in here, you're going to look for console battery. Toggle this on so that you always have a clear view of how much battery you got left. I'll go over some more battery features later on, but for now, let me show you some sweet button tricks. Okay, so the next time you unlock your Switch from sleep mode, you just gotta try this. Instead of unlocking it straight away, if you press any one of the buttons, you'll notice that each one of them has a super unique sound effect that it makes, and it's just kind of fun. Another button trick that'll make your Switch like 10 times better is if you go into controls and accessories again, then scroll right to the bottom, you'll notice this little setting to swap the A and B buttons around, which I totally recommend you switch this on because it'll now make the B button do a confirm action and the A button do a cancel or back action, which is exactly the same way Xbox and PlayStation controllers work, making the Switch controller feel way more like a console controller if that's what you're used to. Also, did you know if you press and hold the home button, it'll open up this quick settings menu where you can adjust a few things like the brightness and volume. Nice. Another trick you should try is if you press this button, it'll take a screenshot. Pretty cool. But if you press and hold it, it'll take a screen recording of all your gameplay for the last 30 seconds, which is great when you do something cool in a game and just want to quickly save it as a memory or share it with your friends. Then for one more button trick, before I show you how to share your games, back inside settings, if you go into accessibility, then scroll down through all the options until you see zoom and turn this on, because now if you double press on the home button, bam, it'll zoom in. You can even use the X and Y's to zoom in or out even more, and the joystick to move around, which is a pretty cool trick that you can do in your games. Okay, now Nintendo have never done this before, but just like how you can share physical games with a friend, you can now share digital games too. and it's actually super simple. So the first thing you do is on your phone or laptop, open up your browser and type in accounts.nintendo.com and make sure you log in, all that jazz. Next, you're going to go into Family Group and create a new family group. Now, all you have to do is select Invite User, type in your friend's Nintendo account email address, then submit the invite, and once that is done, they'll then get a notification asking them to join your group. And once they press accept, the setup is pretty much done. Now all you're going to do on your Switch 2 is go into the virtual game cards menu, pick the game you want to share, then select Lend to Family Group Member, select the user you want to lend your game to, like mine was Mike for example. Then just make sure your friend brings their Switch close to yours, and the key is to make sure you're both on the same Wi-Fi. Then just hit Lend and boom, you just shared your game. This is just such a cool feature, and the best thing is they can play the game, but then after 14 days, it'll automatically return back to you. But now that you know how to share games, here's something else you need to know. Okay, so once you've got your dock plugged into your TV or monitor, here are 3 settings you've got to turn on right away if you want to get the most out of playing on a TV. So first up, head into settings, then under display, you're going to see this option, TV resolution. And if you have a compatible TV, you can toggle on 4K, which will make your games look so good and just more enjoyable. Just below that setting, you'll also see this option, 120 Hz output. This will basically boost your frames per second to 120, making your gameplay feel super smooth, but I think this only works with 1440p or less. Then for the third setting, scroll back up and toggle on Match TV Power State. What this does is as soon as you plug your Switch 2 into the dock, boom, your TV will automatically turn on and you can just jump straight into gaming. So cool. But maybe not as cool as these battery tricks. Okay, something brand new on the Switch 2 is that it now comes with 2 USB-C ports. So one on the top and the other on the bottom, which is so great because you can use either one of them for charging. Just maybe don't try and use both at the same time for charging because... But for real though, don't worry, nothing bad is going to happen. Okay, but if you do want to try and look after your Switch's battery, then back inside settings, if you go into system, if you scroll down, you'll see this setting to stop charging at around 90%. Basically, if you want your Switch battery to last for years and years, then keep this setting turned on. Otherwise, keep this setting off just for a few extra minutes of game time. Another trick you can try is if you've got a USB-C cable connected to your Switch and plug it into your phone, surprise, surprise, the Switch will actually charge your phone, which is a pretty sweet trick in case you ever need a little bit of extra juice. So one of the best features about the Switch 2 is that 2 people can play at the same time. So just like on the old Switch, if you open up a game like Mario Kart, then select multiplayer and remove the first Joy-Con, all you gotta do is tap the left and right button at the top and do the exact same thing then with the second Joy-Con. And then you're pretty much good to go. It is literally that simple and you can play a ton of 2-player games. Just keep in mind that the first Joy-Con you detach is the one that's actually going to be in control of all the menus. But there's actually now a brand new way to play dual player. And again, to set that up is super easy. So all you do is open up a multiplayer game, like Split Fiction for example. Then select Play Local Wireless and look for something called GameShare. Like this over here, then select it. Now here's the cool part. On your friend's Switch, all they gotta do is head into the GameShare menu, then select Join GameShare, and straight away they should see your game session. It should pop up almost instantly, then all they gotta do is select it. Finally, on your side, you then just click start and boom, you and your friend can now play the exact same game, even though the original copy is just on your Switch. Honestly, this is just so freaking cool. Okay, now for some cool bonus tricks. Remember I showed you how to take screenshots? Well, check this out. Inside your gallery, if you open up the settings and tap on automatic uploads, then turn this on, next go onto your phone and download the Nintendo Switch app, then sign in. Now what'll happen is every time you take a screenshot or screen recording on your Switch, if you go to your phone and open the app, you'll see all those screenshots or screen recordings have automatically been uploaded to the gallery. You can then open them up and save them directly to your phone or share them with anyone. Nice. My second bonus trick is actually a free app that everyone should get. So in the eShop, search for YouTube and make sure you download it. Now, it might not look like it, but YouTube is still working on fixing the app so that it works on the Switch 2, just like it works on the Switch and Switch Lite. So when it does, you can watch as much YouTube as you like. Then for my third bonus trick, back inside your settings, if you go into System, in here you will find Console Lock. Turn this on, then follow the setup to make a password. And don't forget you can touch the screen to enter it in because the joysticks can be a little confusing. But once that is all done, you won't ever need to worry about anyone getting in and ruining your saved games because they'll need your console lock / password to get in. And for my final tip, make sure you save this video because with all these tips and tricks, you're definitely going to want to watch this again. So make sure you subscribe and I'll see you in the next one. Toodles!